Apologies for that. For some reason, Ethan's time penalty caused the stream to crash. I believe this to be the new one. Max losing out position to Eki earlier on by 1 lap is looking to answer as he stays behind heading into turn 1. Okay, I believe I have the stream back up now. If I can share this, please. Copy link. Eki still not closing the gap as much as they will need if they want to challenge the race leader. It's only 13 seconds hard on the back end of the McLaren still. These two fighting it out, but the McLaren on much heavier time penalties will be in easy position. Harv just has to cross lines. We do see a yellow flag. I believe it to just be the Red Bull letting the podium round off through. Deathwing found his way through God Gamer and is currently P6, a ways off of P5. Eki closing up the gap to the race leader a lot more this time around. Max looking to answer finally on Eki. He was unable to do it last lap, and he has gotten it done now as the McLaren does retire, and then the closing stages of the race has caused a safety car. The McLaren went off, crashed it, and in the closing stages there is a safety car. This is critical for everyone's race. So now all of the top fielders should be into the pits with this news. This will be very good for Max as he will just have to stay within 3 seconds of anyone ahead of him for the win. There should be I think it's going to be kind of an Abu Dhabi style. I think there's only going to be 1 or 2 laps left of racing once the safety car ends. Especially since there are at least 1 or 2 people that are lapped. It will probably end without them, but it might eat up another lap or 2. That is very interesting from the Mercedes to have, or the McLaren to have gone off at this stage and crashed it. We didn't see him do it in a similar position, and this time around he could not save the car. As the Ferrari big lock avoids the time penalty, you don't need to push it that hard into the pits. I'm sure that Ferrari might have a little bit of a sigh of relief. I don't think he will, actually, because he was in a position to kind of win without a challenge, and now he will have 2 vicious cars behind him wanting this win. Deathwing will also find himself in a very good position, should at least pick up P4 if he can get the car to the end, as Harv is on a time penalty where Deathwing is not. As well, High Flying also will find himself in a good position. Is High Flying on a 1-stop here? Where's stops? No, High Flying is on a 2-stop. Okay. High Flying and Deathwing only drivers without time penalties. Drivers that picked up any 10 seconds, which I don't think there were, would be served, but like I said, I don't think there were any 10-second time penalties handed out. Big Duck now behind the safety car. He has fitted the soft tire compound. Max on the softs. Banani on the mediums. That might be a personal preference or a I didn't save a set in qualifying. Eki actually choosing old mediums. This will be absolutely disastrous for his chance at a podium even, I think. Harv on 1 lap used softs. Deathwing on fresh softs. Actually, wait, why does it say 1 lap even though the top 2 aren't? Those must be used softs. They must be, but not much used. Now the whole field making their stop. So Eki on the worst tires. He had done too many qualifying laps. I still would have taken used softs. These used mediums are very used up. I would definitely want a used pair of softs over these mediums. 10 laps. Those are the... Surely that was an accident. Surely. There's no way he pitted for those on purpose. Honestly, I think we see him in. I think he has to make another stop here. He has the gap to the car behind. It's 20 seconds. You should still hold out position. I think Eki needs to pit. Eki looking very nervous on the back end of that V car for some reason. Not quite sure why he's sticking his nose in there when they're still behind the safety car. I think he is looking to get into the pits as rapid as possible. And yes, he does. So that was surely an accident and a very, very disastrous one. Harv now looking to get a free position out of it and will be defending viciously for his teammate. As he does find his way through, does the Aston Martin of Deathwing? I don't think so, as Eki gets underway. That is critical for that Mercedes chance at a podium now, as he will find himself behind Max's teammate, who is now P3. A V-carb double podium would be very special, as Deathwing actually does find his way through the Mercedes just barely on the pit exit. That is awful for Eki to pick the wrong tires. He does now have fresh softs, so he did have those tires and just accidentally selected the mediums. Hopefully we will see safety car in this lap, but it is unknown. It's been a very nice race from both Max and Big Duck once more. Who will take home the victory, though? We will have at least one lap of racing, I believe. Surely we don't finish behind a safety car. That would be very, very poor. Hopefully we see safety car in this lap very soon, but we have not gotten the message yet. And we do get the message, safety car is in this lap. So that will be, Eki is on the backfield of this in P5. Which driver are we on? We are on High Flying, picking up a time penalty under the safety car after not picking one up for the entire race. That is not very good for the Williams after having such a good run so far. Definitely, like I said, ahead of the Mercedes. The Mercedes now off the podium by a good margin. Might not be looking to be on the top step. As the Red Bull, oh no, the Red Bull backing up the field partially there. Thankfully, it looks like no one got damaged. The Red Bull will have to get out of the way quite seriously as they are underway, and Big Duck gets a very nice start. And the Red Bull just backing up the field because he thought that they had to let people through, but was doing it under safety car. So Deathwing finding himself up on the podium, going 3 wide, no, 2 wide into turn 1. The Mercedes is now back to the podium critically. That was a very, very good restart from him. That was very, very bad from the Red Bull, though, backing up the whole field thinking they were letting them through. As Harv picks up another time penalty in P4. Deathwing now would have a good provisional P4. The Mercedes finding himself in P3, and Max dropping off the back of the Ferrari by a second now. That was certainly an interesting safety car restart. It looks like the Mercedes profited very well, seeing possibly that Red Bull was holding them up in a weird way and was able to profit on it other than the drivers behind. Deathwing outside DRS of Har, but is within his time penalties for sure. Har looking to pull away as much as he can to minimize the damage and score big points for VCarb. Take a look at the penalties, as there has been such a handful passed out so far. Yes, Harp is on 6 seconds, Deathwing on none, and the top 3 all have 6 seconds except for Max in P2. Max only having to get that gap in this lap in the 3-second margin and will have his first win in the bag. Big Duck doing an excellent job pulling away, but will certainly have a challenge to get 1.1 seconds more out of the car over Max as Lily picks up a time penalty at the back of the field. Max certainly looking to push as hard as he can while crossing the line, as for some reason I'm given an Xbox message. I have not been given a Xbox system message in probably 8 months, if not more. That is very odd to see. Max 2 seconds behind Big Duck, just has to keep it in, as we do see Harv is off. Harv is off track. That is critical for VCarb and chances at more points, as Deathwing has found himself in an easy P4. Max just looking to keep 8 more tenths over the Ferrari. And I think he should have this in the bag, both almost out of all ERS that they have. Mercedes doing an excellent job to bring home a podium, as we will see Big Duck cross the line first, but it will be Max taking home the win in Imola. Very nicely done from him. And I believe because of the penalties, Benani should stay ahead of Deathwing. He does not. Deathwing has picked up a podium after being in P10 4 seconds off the grid into turn 1. Very nicely done. He also had to make an extra stop, I believe, at some point. Very, very nicely done from Deathwing in that Aston Martin. Very, very nicely done from the top 3. Well, technically 4 since Eki fell out. Very, very nice. So we'll wait to see the driver of the day. The podium, Max heading to the top step for the first time this season, taking Big Duck's second win away from him after Big Duck couldn't keep it between the lines and picked up too many time penalties. Big Duck, only driver to try a one-stop, was working out until that safety car caused by the McLaren. Deathwing finding himself last place into turn 1, finds himself P3. Very, very good turnaround from him. Driver of the day went to Big Duck, fastest lap. Big Duck, Max took home the race win with the most overtakes going high flying in the Williams. No cleanest driver, as almost everyone had a time penalty. I would certainly give Deathwing, though, the cleanest driver. P4 to P3, but it was really a P4 to P10 to P3, and no time penalties paid off. Very nicely done from the whole field, might I say. Very, very good, and we